Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we'll be doing a recap for the movie Old. Before getting into our video, subscribe to our channel to avoid missing updates. Spoiler alert! The film begins when Guy and Prisca Kapa, their children Maddox and Trent, arrive at a posh resort for a family holiday. The resort manager welcomes these guys, and an employee, Madrid, offers a special cocktail for adults based on the food and beverage choices they had already selected when they booked the room in the resort. Trent and Maddox encounter a young boy named Idlib after settling into their quarters. Trent and Idlib became friends since Trent's uncle was the resort manager. Guy discovers a leaflet from a pharmaceutical company called Warren & Warren, which had a connection with this resort in the room. The guy was familiar with this massive corporation because he worked for an insurance firm that recommended Warren's corporation medication. During the day, Idlib and Trent engage in tasks like asking resort guests their names and employment. They run into a cop here. The Kappa family is having a good time on their first day here. Idlib sends a cryptogram letter to Trent at night to interpret signals. An image, in this case, represented each alphabet. Meanwhile, Guy and Prisca discuss how this is just one more trip they planned to offer the kids before they divorce, which is complicated by Prisca's stomach tumor. We witness a girl and her boyfriend on a deserted beach before sunrise the next morning. The girl in this picture goes swimming naked. We observe another family at the resort. A middle-aged doctor called Charles is having breakfast with his younger vain wife, Crystal, daughter Kara, and his mother, Agnes. A woman named Patricia has an epileptic seizure nearby, which Charles assists with, while her husband Jaron also tries to assist. Trent also notices Idlib, as they had planned to hang out again that day, but the resort manager orders him to leave. The Kappas, together with Charles and his family, board a van that transports them to a secluded beach. Maddox sports a rapper named mid-sized sedan, Brendan, who was previously seen with a female companion who went skinny dipping. While the youngsters play together, the grown-ups relax on the sand. The girls discover ancient dolls buried in the sand, abandoned by other children. Trent is swimming near a cave when he uncovers the body of Brendan's partner, who appears to have drowned. Brendan suffers from nosebleeds and is equally astounded by the discovery as the adults are. Charles suspects Brendan had something to do with this, even though the woman just went for a swim and never returned. Agnes begins to experience shortness of breath and dies. Jaron and Patricia arrive at the beach, but their transporters have already left. Something strange is happening to the kids as well. Brendan tells the adults that the woman he was with had multiple sclerosis, whereas he has hemophilia, which explains his nosebleeds. Jaron and Patricia speak with Trent and Maddox, who have unexpectedly matured into pre-teenagers, and Kara. They try to escape the beach by crossing through the rocks that separate it from the rest of the world, but those who do so endure a hammering in their brains before blacking out and returning to the beach. They also observe odd occurrences, such as how when Charles slashes Brendan with a knife, the cut mark heals in seconds. Soon after, Brendan discovers that the deceased body of the woman he was with has entirely deteriorated to nothing but bones within hours, leading them to believe that something time-related is going on the beach. Prisca and the guy reveal to the group that Prisca possesses a benign tumor inside her stomach. She explained that it should be about 3 centimeters, but Jaron says it's about a ball size. Jaron realizes that Prisca's tumor is still developing after she passes out. Prisca's stomach tumor begins to give her pain and suffering suddenly. To save her life, Charles had done the surgery. Prisca's stomach cut heals quickly following the treatment. Trent and Kara continue to mature into young adults. Furthermore, Kara is grown 5 months pregnant minutes after allegedly having sex with Trent. The adults prepare for the birth, which occurs rapidly, but the baby dies within a minute because of the beach's rapid aging effect. Kara, Trent, and Crystal were upset by these unexpected events. She tried again, but failed. The other adults begin to display more evident signs of aging, but Crystal finds the process much more difficult. Charles begins to lose his mind due to schizophrenia, prompting him to knife Brendan to death. Jaron takes Charles' knife from him while coming up with an alternate plan for escaping. Jaron tries to swim to locate a way out because they can't go through the rocks. During this time, Trent and Maddox discover a journal left by a previous guest, which contains names and medical conditions. They also notice what appears to be people in the distance watching them. Guy suggests climbing the rocks, but Prisca stops him, stating that it's dangerous. These two were growing closer and losing sight of their differences. Prisca had an affair, and Guy was aware of it. She tells Maddox about her divorce and affair, which he takes extremely seriously. She had not expected this from her mother. Maddox is enraged. She rushes to the beach, attempting to be brave and find a way out on her own. But she discovers Jaren's body, apparently unconscious and drowned. Patricia has a deadly seizure after viewing his body. Kara and Trent bury their baby's ashes since they deteriorate quickly. Kara, unable to cope with the catastrophe, began climbing the rock mountain. Trent attempted everything he could to stop her, but she kept going. She blacked out when she neared the summit. She dies after falling to the ground. Charles has gone completely insane, and Crystal is also losing her mind due to her rapid aging and poor physical condition. Crystal then searches for Kara, as she doesn't know Kara has died. It was almost evening at the beach when Guy lost his vision, and Prisca was becoming visibly grayer. Guy and Prisca discovers the other man in Prisca's life, with Guy confessing that he was aware of him and wishes he had done more to keep their marriage together. But he also observes that the other guy is a loser and that she deserves someone better. After a while, Charles begins stabbing Guy with a knife while he is hallucinating. His schizophrenia had gotten out of hand. In a panic, Prisca instructs the children to hide in a cave, where she has brought a rusted knife. With that, she attacks Charles. The rust here behaves like a quick illness, spreading through Charles' body and killing him. Crystal attacks Trent and Maddox when they are sheltering in the cave. Her body was frail and twisted at every turn. The Kapas then gathered along the beach and around the bonfire. Guy, who is elderly, has difficulty speaking and remembering things, but he concedes to Prisca that he still loves her moments before he dies. Prisca then sits up briefly before collapsing and dying by Guy's side, leaving both children to grieve their parents. Trent and Maddox are now in their 50s in the morning. Trent recalls a code Idlib gave him the night before that he had not cracked. He deciphers it. "My uncle doesn't like the coral." Trent suddenly believes this must be an allusion to a nearby coral reef. The resort manager was Idlib's uncle. Idlib didn't know what it was, but he knew his uncle was terrified of it. They began swimming through the coral and struggling to get out of the sea, believing that the coral channel would allow them to exit the beach without losing consciousness. A resort employee checks the report that the entire group has been killed when they fail to emerge from the water. A pharmaceutical research team utilizes the resort to perform clinical trials of new medical medications, with guests with medical issues acting as unwitting test subjects. They know that the beach speeds up the aging process, so they extend the experiment to a full day for better results. One of the researchers reveals that they recently prevented Patricia's epilepsy by giving her medicine before she arrived. Patricia, who had suffered from debilitating seizures her whole life, managed to go 8 hours without having an epilepsy episode at the beach or for about 16 years in the real world. Following that, the manager continues to greet the new guests, but is immediately interrupted by the appearance of Trent and Maddox, who survive their underwater swim. The two then call the police to the resort, using the journal as evidence of other missing visitors. That's where the film ends. That's all we've got for today, guys. Don't hesitate to like the video and leave a comment telling us how much you enjoyed this movie. We'll see you in the following video. Till then, goodbye.